Can your lash conditioner droop your eye? Very interesting question. It came from somebody who had had some Botox-like injections. We call them neuromodulators around the eyes. What do people do? They go home with skincare or a lash conditioner. But she used this for months and months, up to a year, and it only had the Botox injections a year prior. And the question was, could the lash conditioner be what's drooping the eye? The short answer is, of course, and yes, it can. A lot of people don't think about it. I did a complete video on lash conditioners and Latisse-like products that remove fat from around the eye. They cause the eye to sink back. We call it anophthalmos. And today I'm going to show you some pictures, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to show you what ingredients you want to watch for. And of course, I prefer not to get involved with those products at all, but use a lash grower which uses growth factor products in it and conditioning products like biotin. But the growth factors are what hold the lash, the hair, in the growing phase for longer, not the analogs of prostaglandins like what is in Latisse. Big difference. And those products are in many of the lash conditioners, but they're not in the ones that I recommend. And I use the Anti-Age for my patients. And in the links, in the more info section below that video, if you want to learn more about that product or watch my full length video on lash conditioners, how this all happens, how it came about, and I even list a group of ones that we know have that in there in that video. But let's look at this study real quick so you know that this can happen, and I want you to see some of the pictures. So this is the culprit. This is what you're looking for if you're taking a lash conditioner. We know Latisse has bimatoprost, which is the prostaglandin analog. However, isopropyl cloprostinate, it's a mouthful, but that is the synthetic prostaglandin analog that's in a lot of the lash conditioners. A lot of people wonder, well, how should be a medical product if it's FDA approved and used in Latisse, but a very similar thing is used in lash conditioners which are not regulated. How is that possible? Warning letters did go out, but the system is slow. So the FDA issued a warning to these, we call them OTC, over-the-counter lash serum, back in 2011. And in my full feature video, I did talk about that case. We all kind of knew it was coming, but they got found out, and they talked about the potential dangers back then. But yes, it is weird that there are products with really drugs in them that cause these bad side effects that people can get. But let's look at this study and look at these pictures, because I think you're going to find it fascinating. So here's the article: periorbital muscle atrophy associated with bimatoprost. Okay, so topical bimatoprost is common and popular prostaglandin used in ocular hypotensive agent, so it's used for glaucoma. They report an unusual case of periocular muscle atrophy and weakness from unilateral topical bimatoprost. So a lot of people put it in one eye, so it's very easy then to see the eye that's untreated is going to look much different. Clinical measurements of the patient's eyelid clearly showed reduction in the function of the right levator muscle. That's the exact one you get with Botox if you inject too deep at the lateral corrugator. I have videos on that. So it may be limited also to the periorbital fat pad, but think about it. Fat pads in the deep face, so there's deep and superficial fat pads. The deep fat pads in the face are exactly what support the muscles. Superficial fat is different, but the deep fat and the fat around the eye can certainly support that levator muscle, and it's one that opens the eye. Now I want you to see these pictures because they are fairly dramatic, and you can see one eye here is lower than the other. And again, here's another picture. So if we look here and see what they say, topical bimatoprost, and remember the other analogs used in conditioners will be thought to have had the same type of side effects because they work the same. It's just a similar medication, not the exact same one that's used in Latisse, but the same mechanism of action. So they're highly efficacious and superior to other anti-glaucoma drops, and we're talking pressure because we use them in aesthetics for lash growth. However, common side effects such as hyperemia, so the eye gets more red, pigment changes, although they're mostly reversible, and lipodystrophy, meaning pathology or changes in the fat. And it's very important because the fat keeps us young and you lose fat around the eye. Now granted, with things like lash conditioners, if you're going to use those and you don't want to use the growth factors for whatever reason, try not to put too much of the product in the eye. In glaucoma, they're putting it right in the eye. But you get, look, deepening of that upper eyelid sulcus, and that can lead to the problem with the levator muscle. So indeed, you can get a drooping of the eye. I don't like to use them or the analog. Certainly go to the info below to see what I like to use and watch my complete video on lash conditioners and that whole story. Do you love your lash conditioners? What one do you use? What are you comfortable with? Stay tuned here. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.